Welcome to the next lesson on what's called tricky crossovers. And we've done some stuff like this in the past, but this is going to be just a little bit more difficult. So this is a good time to actually remind you of a lot of the fundamentals that we've learned up to this point. Now it's always good as a teacher for me to remind you. Now remember, you might be doing a few of these things right, but really just try to focus on this lesson on some of those things to make sure that you're doing them correctly. First thing, how's your bow grip looking? So make sure that your fingers are spread apart nice, your thumb is curved. Number one thing that students don't do is curve their thumb. A lot of the sound that you might not like that you're getting might be because your thumb is not curved. Curve your thumb into the bow grip. Okay, also make sure that you're starting the bow stroke run right here and getting to the tip. A lot of students, they might play too fast and they don't quite get to the tip. So it's going to be definitely a good lesson for that because of all the crossovers. Now crossing over is going to be the best the higher up you are on the bow. So if you're crossing over here, it's just not going to sound very good. But if you're crossing over here, it's just a lot easier movement. So one of the tips to playing crossovers correctly and cleanly is going to be elbow movement. So remember that E string elbow is right at your side like this, A string elbow is here, D string elbow is here, and G is here. So whatever string you're on, you want to make sure that you're cleanly changing your elbow. And the better you do that, the better it's going to sound. So in music, you're going to see, big crossovers look something like this. This is how we're going to see them in Violin Tutor Pro. So let's try a song that deals with some tricky crossovers. So we're going to learn jumping jacks today. It's in the key of G, will be Allegro. It starts off mezzo forte, and we will see a crescendo into the C natural, A2. So D3, A0, right off the bat, we're going to cross over strings. So make sure you get from this point to this point. A1. Now series of eighth notes. A1, A0. Crossover D3, right back to A1. A3. Now A2 low. A2, A1 slur. Open it. A1. Now crossover to the E string, play low 2 because we're in the key of G. Back to A3, back to E1, slur E3, E1 together, low 2 right next to that, A1, E2, E3 slur, E2, and then elbow up for A3, A0. Now we're going to have a piano part here, A1, dotted quarter note, open A, cross over to D3, back to A1, A3, A1, sorry, itch, A2, A3, A1. Now double forte, we just learned extreme accents recently. So we're going to be really loud here. A3, crossover, E2, E3, E4, E4, E3, slurred, E2, crossover, A3. Now 4-note slur, we learned this recently. A2 low because we're in the key of G. This is tricky. While we're doing that, we're going to cross over to play D2 high staccato. So that slur was, and then D3. And it also will be a ritardando and fermata. So that little ending has got a lot of stuff in it. Alright, let's try jumping jacks at a moderate speed from top. Alright, that was jumping jacks at a moderate tempo. Let's try it again a little bit faster. Jacks, very good. All right, so obviously in music you will see a lot of crossing over. Eventually we'll be doing 2 strings at once, but the hardest part about this lesson is just the 8th note crossings and then coming back and forth, which takes practice. So go over the song until you really feel like you're playing it cleanly, because that's the biggest thing. Is sure, you can play the notes, but how does it sound, right? So very good. Practice this week, and we'll see you in the next lesson.